What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? What's going on? Welcome to the Inside of Mom podcast. Thank you for joining me yet again for another episode. So, look, I want to talk about a few things. I'm going to start doing less planning for these podcast episodes, but I want to start off by talking about how to win your day, right? The truth or the fact of the matter is actually that it is the things that you do before you do anything that are much more important. So if that makes no sense, what I mean is, let's say you have a whole day plan, right? What's the most important is what you do from the wake up, right? So let's say you want to wake up at 6 a.m. Or let's use 10 a.m. as an example. Let's use 10 a.m. as an example for a more common, right? Let's say you want to wake up at 10 a.m. It is what you do from the moment you wake up at 10 a.m. to the moment you start working that is the most important, right? So let's say from 10 to 11:30 is the most important time of the entire day. Why? Because that sets the tone. This time sets the tone for the entire day, right? So a lot of people, let's say you wake up at 10 a.m., right? You snooze the alarm for 10 to 15 minutes, right? Boom. Let's say you do get up after 10, 15 minutes, right? So already you shut that down. So that's already setting you back, and it's kind of affecting your brain, your morals, your principles, whatever. Because you're showing how important, how little of importance your goal of waking up on time is, right? So boom, you set your alarm 10 to 15 minutes back. You already have a kind of a loss for the day. Let's say you set that alarm 10, 15 minutes back. Boom, you get up at 10:15. All right. But when you get up at 10:15, the first thing you do is you grab your phone, you open TikTok, and you scroll for another 15 minutes. So boom, now it's 10:30, and so far you have taken a loss because you snooze your alarm for 15 minutes. Then you scrolled and you did way too much consuming too early, right? Consuming is such a bad habit. It's such a bad habit to become a consumer, because consumers, when you're a consumer, all you do is you take in information all day, right? Good or bad, good or bad. All you do is take in information, right? Which kind of screws up your mind because you lose sense of what's actually real. What is actually going on in your life, you don't even know because you're too busy consuming other people's reality. So, and another thing that's a deadly trap is when you consume too much, you consume, you literally have a false sense of achievement. Because you're seeing a lot of people who are doing good in life, and you watch videos, and that's why self-improvement content is also a bad trap. I know I upload self-improvement content, but it's truly a bad trap to watch too much self-improvement content, because you get a false sense of achievement. You feel good listening to other people talk about doing good in life, and when you listen to it, it makes you feel good, and it gives you a false sense of achievement, right? And when you have a false sense of achievement, you're much less likely to chase what you actually want. If I go my day not consuming anything, right, and I'm talking, I could be dopamine, it could be anything. If you don't know what dopamine is, let me give you an actual definition of dopamine, just so we can be clear. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that plays a role in movement, emotion, reward, and other functions. It is an organic chemical of the catecholamine and big words families. It is formed. Okay, all right, come on. Is there a more simple definition? Let's go to ChatGPT because they never fail me. Dopamine is a chemical in your brain that acts as both a neurotransmitter and a motivator. It plays a major role in how you feel, pleasure, focus, and take action. How you feel, pleasure, focus, and take action. Here's a simple breakdown. What dopamine does: motivation. It's released when you anticipate a reward, which pushes you to take action, right? So you could get motivation from watching self-improvement content, right? Or from TikTok or YouTube or Instagram, whatever. You could get motivation. Reward, it gives you a hit of pleasure when you achieve something or experience something enjoyable. See how I said experience something enjoyable, right? So let's say if your only sense of reward in life comes from dopamine of experiencing something enjoyable, right? So a common example would be watching too much self-improvement content. Listen to people talk about doing good can make you feel good about yourself, and it gives you a false sense of achievement. Pornography, right? The reason why pornography is so obsessive and why people often get hooked to pornography is because it gives you a false sense of pleasure, a false sense of achievement, right? So experience something enjoyable, boom, you get the link, right? Hopefully you guys understand what I mean when I'm saying this. So it gives you a false sense of reward, false sense of achievement, right? And this is dangerous because if you constantly feel this false sense of achievement, you're gonna feel less like you have to do something. But if I completely take that all away, if I take away all false senses of achievement, if I don't do anything that makes me feel fulfilled, I'm gonna feel terrible all the time. If I'm lazy and I don't have all these false senses of achievement, like watching self improvement videos, consuming pornography, all this, I'm gonna feel bad about myself, and that might motivate me to get up and want to go do something that makes me feel better, or I might do the opposite. So, you gotta really be careful how you taking this dopamine, right? Focus and drive helps you stay goal oriented and concentrated. Movement and mood, it's involved in motor control and mood regulation. This is more scientific stuff, I think. Examples of dopamine in action: you check your phone, get a message, dopamine spike, right? So I guess this could be linked to reward, right? Maybe it makes you feel good about yourself that you got a message, dopamine spike, right? It's exciting, whatever. You complete a goal, feel proud, dopamine release. So this is true dopamine. If you truly deserve to feel good about what you did, and that also gives you a dopamine release, right? So dopamine isn't just in bad stuff. Dopamine is also in good stuff, but you want to chase the good, the true, real dopamine, the real excitement. You don't want to chase the false sense of excitement through bad dopamine. You eat junk food, instant pleasure, dopamine hit. So I hope you guys are understanding the links. So why it matters. Your brain craves dopamine, but if you chase it the wrong way, so like I said, there's a right way and a wrong way to chase dopamine, right? But if you chase it the wrong way through scrolling, junk food, vices, it can burn out your motivation for harder but more meaningful things like building a business or reading a book. So the dopamine from the bad stuff is so high that it could burn out the dopamine that you get from doing the good things like building a business, reading a book, volunteering, whatever, right? Because those dopamine doses are so much lower than the dopamine doses you get from doing the bad stuff, right? So how to use dopamine for self-improvement. Delay gratification. Do hard things first to train your brain to value effort, right? So if your brain says the only way I'm going to get this satisfactory dopamine is by if I do this good stuff, then shoot, I'm going to just have to settle because I need this dopamine. I need to feel good about myself. So if the only way I can feel good about myself is by doing these things that I don't really want to do, I'm going to just go ahead and do it, right? Because I need that dopamine. I need that hit of dopamine. That's what your brain is saying. Create small goals. Every time you complete one, you get a dopamine hit. When you complete something, you get a dopamine hit. So if you keep your goals small, wake up at this time, make my bed, clean my room, boom. Those are, hit yourself with small success after success after success early on in the day. So instead of scrolling on your phone and getting your dopamine that way, right, you could have spent those 15 minutes tidying up your desk space, making your bed, whatever, and that'll give you an automatic success for the day. Boom, dopamine hit. So already you're feeling good. You already got a win out the way. Avoid overstimulation. Too much easy dopamine, social media, sugar, etc., makes you feel lazy and unmotivated. So take away easy dopamine out of your life. Anything that gives you instant gratification or instant satisfaction that you didn't have to work for, not saying take it all out of your life, because obviously we're going to eat some sugar. We're going to go on social media every now and again, whatever the case, but make sure that it's in moderation, and also that what comes important comes first every single time. Don't let this take top priority. Don't let this take top priority. So let's get some more examples of the bad forms of dopamine. I think this is very important to talk about, right? Let's see. Endless social media scrolling, fast, cheap dopamine from likes, short videos, and viral content makes real life accomplishments feel boring by comparison. This is so important because when you scroll on social media and you see these people that have supercars and have big houses and successful businesses and all the girls they could ever want, it's like it makes what you do feel like nothing compared to what they're doing. If this guy's making millions of dollars, averaging 100,000 views every video, he has 3 women by his side every time I see him, like, it's gonna make what I do feel like less. It's gonna make everything in my life feel so much more inferior. It's gonna make the 100 views I get on a video seem like nothing. It's gonna make the first $10 I make from my business feel like nothing because I'm comparing myself to this guy, right? So it's making me feel a lot less satisfied of what I'm actually doing. Pornography and overstimulation, artificial reward without effort or connection. So obviously, dating back in time, right? Sexual intercourse with a woman, or even for men nowadays, sexual intercourse with a woman is a very strong, like, I guess, what's the word? It's very rewarding for a man, typically. That's usually a big reward for a man. So to get the reward without the effort, it F's up your brain. It F's up your brain in the long run. So you're getting the reward of that semen release without actually putting in the effort, right? You didn't talk to no woman. You didn't get to know the woman, interact with her, anything like that, but you just got the reward, right? So that's a big, fat dopamine hit, right? And that's why it's obsessive, because it makes a lot of men feel better about themselves, right? Because it's like, okay, this is instant gratification. I don't got to work hard for it. It's going to make me feel good temporarily. So why not? That's how people get addicted to it, right? That's with anything. Drugs, don't got to work hard. Instant gratification makes me feel good without having to do any hard work. Junk food, quick hit of pleasure followed by a crash. Over time, it could desensitize your dopamine. Oh, hold on. Let's go back up to the pornography and overstimulation. Can kill motivation, focus, and real life intimacy. So that's like the negatives of it, right? Kill motivation, focus, and real time intimacy. Junk food over time can desensitize your dopamine system. This is junk food and stuff. So I ain't gonna lie, junk food definitely really comforting. I can see how that's very bad for you, because if I'm feeling bad, sometimes food really do it. Like just eating some good food really do it. I definitely have had a big habit of ordering a lot of food, and that could be stemmed down to something like a lack of the right dopamine. On shopping, dopamine hit from the idea of buying, not the actual item. So the idea of buying stuff gives you a dopamine hit, leads to impulsive spending and regret. So I think a lot of people go through this. You just feel better by shopping, spending money, and just buying stuff. Gaming, notifications, drugs, alcohol, validation seeking behavior. So a lot of these are just bad forms of dopamine. So let's look at some good dopamine, right? So we talked about the bad. I think it's important to get the bad out the way. Let's talk about the good types of dopamine. Let's see. Working toward a goal builds long-term motivation and discipline. Exercising boosts mood, confidence, and energy. Learning something new makes your brain crave growth over comfort. Let's see. Acts of kindness feeds meaningful relationships. So these are the true dopamine that you should chase, right? You should, if you cut out the fake dopamine as much as you possibly can, the only way to feel gratification is by doing the things that give you real dopamine. Completing goals, doing good for the world. These are things that give you true dopamine. This is the type of dopamine you should be looking to get, right? So I encourage y'all to stop watching as many self-help videos as you possibly can. Try not to fall into the rabbit hole of self-help videos, because I too was victim of that. And I didn't even realize I was victim to it. Watching so many self-improvement videos, watching other people do things in life that I wanted to do, right? And I learned stuff. It made me feel motivated, but at the same time, it gave me a false sense of satisfaction, a false sense of achievement. Because I wasn't really doing these things, but I enjoyed watching other people do it because that's the life that I want to live. That's all time I could have been I could have spent chasing after that life that I want to live, right? Pursuing that life that I wanted to live. So I'm cutting out all self-improvement content as much as I can. Cutting out watching other people play the game when I could be out there playing the game, right? I could be on the court. I'm not trying to be a viewer in the crowd anymore. So yeah, so let's go back to the topic at hand in the beginning of the video. So boom, it's 10:15. You scrolled. You know what I mean? So let's say after scrolling, it's 10:30 at this point. You know what I mean? It's important that you switch it up. So instead of that, you get up on time like you said you would, 10:30. You get up, shower, brush your teeth, get ready for the day. Hopefully that takes you like 30, 40 minutes. Boom, it's 10:40 at this point. Right? You start your day off planning, right? You spend the next 20 minutes planning out what you're going to do for the day. So now your vision is a lot more clear. Your vision is a lot more clear. So at this point, it's already 11 o'clock. It's been an hour since you got out of bed, but now you have a much more clear vision for your entire day. Maybe you make your bed, clean up a little bit, tidy up. So now at this point, it's 11:30. It's an hour and a half you spent in the beginning of your day, but you already feel good. You showered, you're clean, you got a clear vision for the day. You cleaned up, so you already started off with a big success. So you want to start off with as many wins as you possibly can for the day to set the tone. And that's how I believe you can win. I believe that the first hour and a half of your day is so very important to when it comes to your growth. If I'm effing up my sentences, I'm tired, but that's truly what I believe. So I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for joining another episode of ZayyAfterDark or Inside of Mind. Make sure y'all check us out on Spotify at Inside of Mind Podcast. Make sure you follow us on social media, Instagram, TikTok, ZayyAfterDark. I love y'all always. Make sure y'all share your thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know if you learned anything from this episode or your thoughts on anything I said. I love to talk to you guys in the comment section or on social media. No, nothing you say is stupid or too bad, so make sure you say it or ask it in the comment section. I'm going to see you on the next one. Peace out.